Carbon is a vital element in life. You might have heard that carbon is the element of life. But what does that mean? Carbon is the sixth element in the periodic table. Every atom is made up of protons, which have a positive charge, neutrons, which are neutral, and electrons, which have a negative charge. The number of each element is based on the number of its protons. For example, hydrogen is the first element in the table, and it's good to know that 75% of the entire universe is made up of hydrogen. This means that hydrogen is the most abundant element in the whole universe. Helium, with 2 protons, is the second element, and as follows: lithium, beryllium, boron, and the sixth element is carbon, which with 6 protons is the sixth element and the element we're focusing on. Please stay with us until the end of the video as always. Well, you should know how carbon came into existence. If not, we have to go back to hydrogen, which has the simplest atom in the world. When hydrogen atoms are compressed, something interesting is born in the universe called a star, just like our sun. When hydrogen atoms form a star, they become so compressed that the neutrons and protons of this element stick together and create other elements. Even iron atoms are created in these reactions. But the most important element that is created is carbon. Every star has a lifespan and eventually dies. Do you know how stars die? They grow bigger and bigger until they explode in the end. This explosion causes the carbon atoms created inside these stars to spread throughout the universe. Carbon is an interesting element. It quickly mixes with other elements, which is why scientists call carbon the building blocks of life. And without carbon, life would cease to exist. Carbon is special because it can bond with various elements. For example, in graphite, which is used to make pencil tips, carbon atoms bond together in a specific way to form graphite. Or in diamonds, which are the hardest substance on Earth, carbon atoms are connected to each other, as you see in the picture, and form diamonds. These elements we mentioned are pure carbon atoms. However, when mixed with other elements like hydrogen or oxygen, it can also form parts of the human body. That is why carbon is called the element of life. Carbohydrates, proteins, and DNA are all made up of carbon. Or, for making steel, carbon is mixed with iron, and steel is created. Now, you can better understand the role of carbon in life. Astronomers are in love with carbon because, as we mentioned, carbon is dispersed in the universe with the death of stars, making life possible again. Astronomers love carbon for this reason, saying that all living beings come from dead stars, and this is very beautiful. When you stand somewhere on Earth and look at the sky, you realize that you are within the universe. But you should know that the universe is also within you, and those same carbon atoms that have created you and me come from those stars in the cosmos. There are many elements whose atoms can bond with each other. However, the way they bond with carbon atoms is infinitely different, and you can't limit it by saying, for example, that they connect in a million ways. To explain it more simply, other atoms are like a truck carrying one trailer, but a carbon atom is like a train that can connect to an infinite number of wagons. 18.5% of the human body is made up of carbon, although most of the body is made up of water, with about 60% of the body being water. Not only does carbon play a role in building our bodies, but it also exists in everything humans use. For example, even oil or natural gas is all made with carbon. If you're interested in learning more about oil and gas, there's a clip about it available on the channel. You should know that this element is so extensive that if we want to fully understand it, we would have to research and study for years because chemists know about carbon. But if they want to fully understand it, they would have to dedicate their entire lives to it. But still, some chemists specialize only in studying carbon. Because everything is made with carbon, we can say carbon is a very abundant element and is found in many places. The most abundant substance on Earth is oxygen, followed by carbon and then hydrogen. This shows how abundant carbon is. Humans first recognized carbon over 1,000 years ago, but until recently, we only had a surface understanding of it and didn't realize how important this element was. However, in the past 30 years, humans have just begun to understand what carbon truly is and how everything is somewhat dependent on this element. Have you ever heard of graphene? Graphene is an ultra-thin sheet of graphite and is extremely thin, meaning it's sliced to the thickness of a single atom. Two physicists, Andrei Geim and Konstantin Novoselov, accomplished this slicing and received the Nobel Prize in Physics in 2010 for it. As we said, the diameter of graphene is just one atom, which is very interesting. Graphite is made of carbon, and diamonds are also made of carbon, but they are not similar at all. Graphite is so soft that you can write with it, and it smears when it collides with paper. But diamond is the hardest stone on Earth because the atoms of diamond are tightly bonded to each other in the densest possible state. Graphene can also conduct electricity, meaning carbon atoms are arranged in such a way that they allow electricity to pass through themselves via electrons, but the diamond doesn't conduct electricity. Carbon is found everywhere on Earth, but most of it is in the oceans. Another highly fascinating product of carbon is carbon fiber, that it's a very light yet extremely strong material that you can compare to steel. But don't think it can withstand blows. 90% of carbon fiber is made from polyacrylonitrile, and 10% is made from artificial silk or rayon. These materials used in carbon fiber are connected by carbon atoms and have formed such a powerful substance. Carbon is one of the most fascinating elements in nature, industry, and even in the cosmos. Thanks for staying with us.